everybody. I'm back. It's the Nourish Spot Hour. I'm Dawn Kelly, and the Nourish Spot Hour is brought to you by the Nourish Spot. It's a healthy food haven here in Southeast Jamaica, Queens, that my children and I own. And we are happy that we have this platform to share information about entrepreneurship across South Jamaica and beyond, and especially bringing in women entrepreneurs from across the borough, especially here in Southeast Queens, because I don't think that many of the black women that I know and a few of the good black men that I know, they don't get the shine that they deserve. And so we're using the Nourish Spot Hour to bring some light to the people here that are doing a lot of amazing things in Southeast Queens and beyond. And today I have a wonderful guest. I have Tiffany Eason. Tiffany is the CEO of Passion and Priorities. Hey, Tiff.
Hey, Dawn.
I'm so glad that you're here with me today. We've been trying to get her on, and finally today was the wonderful day that worked. So before we start with you, I just want to tell the listeners about some things that are going on here in Southeast Queens. Tonight at Black Spectrum Theater. Yesterday was the world premiere, so today is the second day of the world premiere of Reform, Racial Disparities in American Criminal Justice. It is a dance play, if you will, by Carrie Edge, and it is done in collaboration with the Queens Council on the Arts. Quite a few producers. I'm going to name a couple. Brenda's Wineglass, Tyra Emerson, Lanice Ray, Lynette Townsley, and quite a few other people. So if you're available tonight, run on over to the Black Spectrum Theater at 8 o'clock because we saw a little bit of it last night. We were the caterer, so we saw a little bit of it last night. But today at 8, they're going to do it again. The other thing that's going on in Southeast Queens is the Cypher in Queens. Cypher in Queens. I had Ralph McDaniels on from Video Music Box last week, and it was amazing. And Ralph talked about a event that is going on in the library called A Cypher in Queens, where this young man named Sherwin Banfield, who lives and works in Astoria, Queens, he actually developed 3 sculptures of 3 hip-hop legends: Prodigy from the Queensbridge duo Mobb Deep, Jam Master Jay, the legendary DJ we all know from Rum DMC and from here from Hollis, and then Phife Dawg, also from St. Albans, and the supergroup A Tribe Called Quest. So that those sculptures are at the Queensboro Library at the Central Branch, and they're going to be there until February 2020. So I hope you guys will go out and support this young black sculpture artist. It's phenomenal. I was there, and then they also have music that you could listen to. Nice. So it's really beautiful. You have to see it and touch it to see his work. He's amazing. And then one more thing I want to mention. Myself and a couple of people from Southeast Queens are going to be honored by the Douglas King Regular Democratic Club next Saturday.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. And so I'm hoping that you listeners and viewers will actually decide to support the event. The tickets are $85. The event is a fundraiser, of course. The funds are used to support political action in Queens, voting, getting people to vote, and all kind of scholarships and things for young people. So I wanted to bring all of those to the attention of our listeners before we give you the floor, Tiffany. So What I know about you: you're the CEO of Passion and Priorities. You're a double alumna from St. John's University. I hope that they're leveraging you. She has PR background like me, but she also went back and she got a master's in international communications. So before the show started, I was messing with her and asking her what she's doing with that degree. Okay? And also, I want to ask her about why. I'm going to start with that. So tell me why and when Passion and Priorities was established. And thank you, Tiffany. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Dawn.
You're welcome.
Thank you for my green goblin.
You're
it's
welcome.
Amazing. Passion and Priorities just turned 1 this year.
Okay, congratulations.
So, thank you. So Passion and Priorities is it's a lifestyle brand, and it is for women who want to prioritize God, themselves, their lifestyle, the environment, and pretty much everything that they do in their passion.
Okay.
So that's why I started Passion and Priorities, and I. As you mentioned, I have my background in public relations.
Yes.
And so I love to communicate.
Okay.
Growing up, I love to talk.
Okay.
And so I just wanted to share the things that I knew and the information that I accumulated and the lessons that I've learned over the years and share it with other women.
Okay. So tell me about some of the events that you've held over the last year. Did you do any surveys with women? Like, how did you really find out what it is that women really needed and wanted to engage in?
So I haven't conducted any surveys as of right now.
Okay.
The events, all right, so I've done 2 events so far.
Congratulations.
So,
How were
you.
they?
They were amazing. They were intimate. And the first event that I did was a wine and waist beads workshop.
Okay.
And it was for women to come together and network and also make African waist beads.
Okay.
So it was to educate the women that attended, educate them on the significance of African waist beads.
So stop.
Yes.
What are the significance of African waist beads?
So African waist beads originated in Africa, and they have different meanings depending on the colors.
Okay.
So I have on 3 bands right now,
Okay.
and I've had them on for a few years.
All right.
And depending on, so we all know colors attract energy,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So depending on the type of energy you want to attract is the color that you're gonna pick to put on your band.
Okay.
But each band is to kind of serve as like a weight tracker.
Okay.
To monitor your weight. It'll let you know if you're gaining weight or if you're losing weight by if it drops lower, that means you're losing weight. And if it rolls higher, that means you've gained weight.
Okay.
When it tightens around the waist and the stomach.
Okay.
It's for women to attract the men that they want and
Okay.
or to stimulate the man that they have.
Okay.
So it has different meanings
right.
depending on what you want in your life.
Okay.
And at my wine and waist speed workshop, I do affirmation sessions.
Okay.
And the entire workshop is just to remind women to prioritize themselves.
Yes, because self-care is important.
Very important.
Yes.
And that includes me.
Okay.
To just be the best versions of themselves,
Okay.
be the best versions of ourselves that we can be.
Okay.
And so it's not just, you come, you get some wine and feel good and stuff like that. And you also meet like-minded women who want the same or similar things in their lives.
Okay.
And so we have a lot of fun. I do giveaways and we listen to music, sing along and stuff like that. So it's really nice.
So now let me ask you this. In terms of the demographic, do you get women in your millennial age group, or do you get women that span the age groups?
Both.
Okay.
So for the workshop, I didn't conduct any surveys, but later on, I guess we'll talk about the survey, what I'm going to do the surveys for.
Okay.
But it's open to any woman that wants to attend, because waist beads are not for a specific shape, for a specific size, for a specific ages, for women of all ages.
Okay.
So
and let me ask a question. Does a woman keep those waist beads on forever, or like do they break and then you get another pair? I mean, like, how does that work?
Yeah. So what I tell everyone is, when you're beading, like, I like to do everything with intention, right? So when you're beading, you're putting intentions into this band, right? And once you fulfill that intention, they'll pop. But then it also depends on the material you use. I have elastic. I use elastic. But it doesn't matter what activity you're doing; they won't pop. But when they're ready to pop, they'll pop. Or you can
and you can bathe with them, and you swim with them, and everything. Okay. So that's good. That's good to know. Look, I need to write that down. Maybe I'll be coming to the next waist bead class.
Yes. And also we did a vision board brunch.
Oh, and how was that?
So it was amazing. It was so much fun. Women came out and they got to create their own vision boards. And I think a lot of people know what a vision board is, but don't realize the magic that manifests when you're creating your vision board, because you get to make your thoughts physical by cutting and putting and pasting.
It isn't.
Cutting and pasting the things that you want to happen in your life, and you're putting it on this board. And when you finish this board, you're gonna hang it up in your house or in your office, wherever you are most of the time, and wherever you'll see this board the most, because then the more you see it, the more it becomes real and it internalizes.
Yes, so I definitely believe in the whole vision board thing. I'm of the thought process, I write everything down. So the vision board to me is just evolving of the writing down part, because I feel like there's a scripture in the Bible that says if you write it down, make it plain, God can make it happen. So the vision board to me is just an extension of writing it down. You're actually putting pretty pictures to the words, right? So you're just taking it one step further for God to bless it. So I agree with it, and I think it's a good idea. And
it's not even just magazines. Like, I have tons of sticker books, Mamby stickers, a bunch of stuff like from the arts and crafts store, and like scrapbook paper, so you can make it festive and customize it to your personality, your needs and stuff like that. And I actually call it a priority plan.
Okay, that's nice.
So yeah.
I like that. So now, what's coming up next? When is your next event? Okay, so now you told
2020.
me. You told me why it was established. You told me when it was established. Okay, then you told me the mission and goals. So now I guess I need to know what's coming up.
What's coming up? So the next event is going to be in 2020.
Okay.
When exactly in 2020? I can't tell you yet.
Okay.
But we're in the works of a lot of exciting things. Like Passion and Priorities is working on launching a podcast.
Okay, good. Join the fray. That's good. Now come on your show.
Yep. We would love to have you.
Love it.
And Passion and Priorities is also working on a subscription package.
Oh, okay.
Called the Priority Package.
Okay, that's very interesting.
So when you mentioned the survey, I wanted to I was excited. I'm excited inside, because I'm going to actually conduct a survey for women to let us know what products they like to use, where they usually shop, just so that we can get an idea of their habits and the products that they use, because I am a big fan of sustainability and doing things over and over without depleting my resources. And so Passion and Priorities is very big on sustainability and eco-friendly products, and that's what some of the things that are going to go inside the subscription package.
Okay, that's
so
good.
It's going to be products galore, and it's going to be not only good for you, but good for the environment.
So look, let's talk about that, the sustainability. You didn't have it in your bio, but I know that you also do events where you clothing giveaways. Talk to me about those.
So the clothing giveaways is presented by my nonprofit.
Okay.
So I have a nonprofit. It's called It's For You. And we're developing different programs, but it's called the Community Closet. The Community Closet is one of our programs where we promote reducing waste, recycling, and repurposing clothes, because a lot of, and I actually started because I know a lot of my male friends, I'll be on the phone with them and they'll be like, I have these clothes, or I have whatever, and I just want to get rid of them. I just want to throw them away. And I'm just like, no, someone can use that. Okay. And so sometimes we throw things out that we can repurpose.
Right. So I talked to you about that too, because I also have clothes. And I would tell you, here's the issue. Because I used to give all my stuff to the Salvation Army. Then I stopped and I started giving stuff to my church. And I'm just concerned about really what happens to the clothes, right? We don't want them resold, right? So I know at the church that doesn't happen, right? But people have told me that at Salvation Army they resell your clothes. So that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to have anybody else pay for stuff that I've already used. Mm-hmm. I want to give it to them. Fair. So I think that's why people throw the stuff away, because they don't want somebody else to have to pay for something they already used. Mm-hmm. And for us, and I don't know about you, but for me, if I use it already, sometimes I'm a little antsy about, does somebody really want this stuff? So I think that's what goes through people's mind. They're like, my arms were in it. My body was in it. Do people really want these things?
People do.
Okay.
And with the Community Closet that I run, the only clothes that we don't accept that have been worn are like undergarments and socks. Okay. So undergarments and socks are the only clothes that we accept that has to be absolutely brand new for hygiene and sanitary purposes. Right. But as far as like shirts, jeans, shoes, which I'm like a Clorox and Lysol junkie. Okay. So like I disinfect everything. Okay. So we disinfect the clothes, we clean the clothes before we give them to the community, and it is exactly what it's called, a community closet, because I don't believe in selling clothes that I already wore anyone, right? But there are people in our community, sometimes they're right next door, that are in need of clothes. And what actually inspired me to start the Community Closet is, oftentimes, like you said, we donate clothes to the church. We donate clothes to those bins that are
all over the place.
In the gas station or on somebody's corner.
But what happens to it?
Right, exactly. We don't know. Right. And so what I decided to do was collect clothes from the community. And there have been other organizations that I've worked with and businesses that have donated new clothes, like $200 worth of new clothes. And they've Ubered in. Shout out to my sorority sister, Diana Hilaire. Hey,
Diana. She was on this show, too. Yes.
She and Jennifer Singleton of Jennifer Temps, they Ubered clothes in because they couldn't drop them off during event days, right? And so they would send in clothes in a cab from Manhattan or Brooklyn or wherever. And
do you get rid of them? I mean, when you get all these clothes in and you hold your giveaways, do people actually attend and actually walk away with bags full of clothes?
Yes,
and happy about it?
Yes. Okay. So I store the clothes in a storage unit. Okay. And I remember, I'll never forget, my very first Community Closet, a man traveled from Brooklyn, and he didn't have a phone. He lived in a shelter, and he came to Queens on the train with a piece of paper, trying to figure out where we were. He spent 2 hours trying to get to this location where we had it at Seed Capital on Farmers Boulevard, and when he got there, he looked around the room, and he was just like, is this for me? And I told him, I said, if you can fit it, you can have it. And he broke down crying. And if no one else came that day, it was worth it being there. Because,
just for him.
Right, just for him. Yes. And he left with at least 6 bags of clothes. I partnered with, I got reusable tote bags from a pharmacy. Okay. And it's like shopping for free.
That's lovely.
And I think that it's good for people to be cognizant of like where your clothes is coming from and where your clothes is going.
Right.
And it's not always the people that you see that you think or assume needs it most.
Right.
Sometimes it's the people that's on your block because you never know.
Yeah, you don't know. No one knows.
You never know.
No one really knows what's going on behind the closed doors of people's homes, and I definitely get that. So now I am convicted. I will get those bags of clothes together because I have lots. I have told you. But, you know, being an entrepreneur, you know, time is challenging, and trying my best to do everything. Sometimes I don't get it done, but I'm going to definitely get this done because I would like to give these clothes away. Because another thing, you know, in your house, when you have too much clutter, it just feels like the energy in your house is like not good. So I just need to get rid of it. So I'm glad that I have a resource through you to donate clothes. So now, before we go on, I want to give you an opportunity. If people want to get in touch with you for Passion and Priorities, or get in touch with you. What was the name of the other one?
It's for you.
It's for you. How do they reach you? Tell the audience.
Well, you can reach me on all social media platforms. We also have a website, www.passionandpriorities.com. On social media, it's at Passion and Priorities. No spaces, no.
Spell it for the people that are challenged.
PASSIONANDPRIORITIES. So the correct spelling, the normal spelling, Passion and Priorities on Facebook, Instagram. We're also on Pinterest. For those of you who like to pin things, we're on Pinterest, and also we're working on our YouTube. So yeah.
Excellent.
Follow us and subscribe to our newsletter on the website so that you can get our most up-to-date articles. So yeah.
Excellent. So I have to do a shameless plug. You are watching the Nourish Spot Hour. I'm Dawn Kelly, CEO of the Nourish Spot, and the Nourish Spot is open now till 7 p.m. We are located at 10705 Guy R. Brewer Boulevard in Southeast Jamaica, Queens. And if you can't walk in on your own and you're hungry or thirsty because it's hot outside, how about contacting Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub, Seamless, or Postmates, and they can help you get your food or beverage delivered right to your doorstep. So please come support a Black-owned business, the Nourish Spot. Now, we're going to turn this back around, talk to you a little bit more about passion and priorities. So tell me, you're young. What would make you decide to be so selfless at such a young age? You know, what is it? Was it your upbringing? Is it your mom? Is it your sorority? You know, where do you think you've derived this compassion for others?
It would definitely start with my family. I am the youngest of 5.
Oh.
I have a twin brother, so we're both the youngest.
Okay.
It definitely starts with my family. And coming from a big family, we had to share.
Okay.
And so I was raised having to give and also receive, even when I didn't want to.
Okay.
And so I've always had to share.
Okay.
So that was always instilled in me. And my mom is compassionate. My mom is very giving. And growing up, I learned to put others before myself.
Okay.
And so when I finally got of age where I could do something about it, I did.
Okay.
The first opportunity I got to like do something, even though I felt like I wasn't completely ready, I had to do it, because when God says go, you have to go.
Say that again.
When God says go, go.
And I would jump in on that because, you know, the Nourish Spot actually was God ordained. I, left to my own devices, I would never have established it because I'm a communicator, as I mentioned to you earlier. I've spent over decades I don't want to date myself, but anyway, I spent over 3 to 4 decades in the corporate world promoting people, places, and things, right? And if anything, when my job was eliminated in 2015, I immediately thought, well, if I'm going to do anything, it would be just do PR, right? Because I do that in my sleep. I don't have to think about it. It comes easily. But I was so damaged from what had happened to me. I had not yet made the switch to realize that God had better for me. I was still in the pit of how could they do this to me? And I wasn't sure what I wanted to do next. So I didn't do anything. But then once God assured me that he had me, he gave me an idea to do the juice bar. And I would tell you, it was such a long shot to me, I wasn't sure I would listen, right? But it was so powerful. And I will be honest, I challenged the Lord because when he told me the juice bar, I was like, well, where is it going to go? Because that's how I talk to Jesus, okay? Just like I'm talking to you. And I heard a still small voice say, go outside and go on God, and look up. And I did. And when I looked up the third time, because the first time I didn't see anything. The second time I didn't see anything. And I became very upset, thinking that maybe I was going a little crazy. But then I stilled myself, said a little prayer again, and I looked up the third time. And that's when I saw it. It said, DK Upholstery.
Okay.
My name is Dawn Kelly. That sign now says, The Nourish Spot. So I believe that you should listen for what God tells you, and then you should act, and he'll make everything else come true.
And what's interesting is, I agree with you, and what's interesting is, at the time before actually starting the North Spot, before actually starting Passion and Priorities,
Yes.
I was looking for ways to share information because I believe in sharing information, and especially in our community.
Yes.
It's like information anywhere is a commodity.
It is.
We don't share enough, and women don't share enough.
Well, information is power. You know that, right? And that's another thing that when God gave me the idea to do the Nourish Spot, one of the things that was on the top of my head was, I know so many people and I know so much. I need to be able to give this stuff away. It's unfair for me to be the only person that knows it all. So the Nourish Spot, and hence the Nourish Spot Hour, is that opportunity, that platform for me to share. And I would say this to you, all the things that you have now laid out, all those things that you've cast out onto the universe, they're going to happen because you've actually said them. Because I think that's the other thing that we could talk about too, about the whole manifesting, right? Most of the time, and I say this for women, most of the time what we do as women is we keep our secrets to ourselves, right? And when I say secrets, I'm not talking about those things that you did that you wasn't supposed to do. I'm talking about those hopes and dreams that you have. A lot of us keep them to ourselves because we're afraid if we say them out loud, somebody might laugh at us.
Or somebody might steal your idea.
True. But what's for you is for you.
Yep.
And I learned that every single day. And I'm in my 50s. And I learned that every single day. You know, sometimes we think that something that someone else did or something that someone else is doing, maybe that should have been yours. What's for you is for you. And God always got better for you. So you should just stay in your lane and do what you do and be happy. right? Mm-hmm. And that's part of, I guess, what you're teaching women with passion and priorities in those intimate gatherings that you're having, is to allow them to understand that what they care for, what they want, what they're doing, it's okay. They have a right Absolutely. To all of that.
Absolutely.
And if they put enough effort into it and they have faith and prioritize, it will come true.
Mm-hmm. And one thing that I realized is that it really, really, really started when I was a teenager.
Okay.
Because I was always looking for something. I was always looking for, like, how do I keep my skin clear, or how do I keep my hair moisturized, because I have dry skin, I have dry hair. So I will always look for things to make life easier, make life better.
Right.
And I didn't have anybody to go to. I mean, I went to my mom, right? But we weren't the same age. So we couldn't really identify. I didn't have anyone to go to say, well, how do I do the perfect manicure, like cute little things like that. So I would always look in magazines, like Cosmopolitan magazine, and my mom supported me on that. So she subscribed me. She subscribed for magazines, and we would get the mail to the house, and I would always look in magazines, the cute articles and stuff like that. And so that's what inspired me. And growing up, I still look in those magazines. They changed a little bit which ones I look in. But I would read those articles and apply them to me. But even more so, those articles that I was reading, they didn't apply to me.
That's right.
They didn't apply to me. They didn't apply to my sister. And so I was looking for that guide. To read so that I can know exactly what skin products are best for me and my melanin, and how to whiten my teeth and keep my, maintain myself. And so I didn't have that growing up. So I said, why not create it? And so I wanted to create something. And even the event hosting part, my mom, we would have parties or gatherings in the house growing up all the time. And so that's where I got the event hosting side of things. So growing up, always seeing that in holidays, I'm like really festive and stuff like that. So I love doing it, period.
Well, I think that's lovely. And let me ask you some biographical questions. What high school did you go to?
I went to high school for law enforcement and public safety.
The new one right here? Which one is that one?
HS Leafs, Baisley.
Right
next door to the PAO.
You went to that school? Mm-hmm. Oh, you're a baby. Mm-hmm. You're a baby because that school just went up. It just went up the other day. Mm-hmm. So, so you went to high school. What elementary school did you go to?
I went to CS21 in Brooklyn. So I went to, I was in school in Brooklyn until I got to high school.
And then you came, to Queens.
So I went to CS21 until 6th grade, and then from 7th to 8th grade, I went to St. John the Baptist in Brooklyn. It's closed down now, unfortunately, but I was in Catholic school. And then
something about us Catholic school girls. I went to Catholic school too.
Really?
Yes, I went to Sacred Heart on 220th Street in Cambridge Heights. For the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade.
Wow.
Yeah, something about these Catholic school girls. I don't know what it is.
Special.
So I'm going to ask you a couple more questions. So one question I want to ask you is something I ask all my guests. And how do you nourish yourself?
How do I nourish myself? I love taking bubble baths. So I nourish myself like inside and out. Well, let me backtrack. Through the things that I eat. And I'm so happy to be here because this week I was a vegetarian. So I'm on the vegetarian lifestyle. I don't eat pork. I don't eat beef. But I've been trying to cut out chicken and flesh, period. So I went vegetarian this week, and it's
How
great.
was it?
So and I'm ending it off on a high note. It was great. It was great.
You didn't find it hard, difficult, challenging? Like when you start smelling, you pass by the burger places and the chicken places.
Yeah, but then I would substitute it for, so I just discovered Impossible meat.
Oh, okay.
And I'd never heard of impossible meat.
Okay.
And I'm just like, oh, okay. So I went and bought like
And what is
veggie
in
sausage,
impossible meat?
protein.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
protein's packed with protein.
Okay.
But I'm still doing my research on it, so I don't want to go full blown because it's like, all right, if I'm not gonna have meat, what am I gonna replace it with?
Right, the protein,
so,
definitely.
Right, and so I'm doing my research because I don't want to be malnourished.
Okay. Well, you can use beans. I could tell you this. You could definitely use beans. Avocados are protein. You can use eggs. I don't know if you.
I love eggs.
Yeah, but you can use eggs. So eggs are protein. So we have at the Nourish Bar, we get a lot of vegetarians, right? Okay. So they use beans for the most part to as their protein, or the avocado or the egg. But some of them don't eat eggs either, so they use the avocado or the beans for protein. Okay. Thanks, yeah. So that can help you out a little bit. So you say you take the bubble baths, you eat better. What else? Anything else?
To nourish myself, I love doing face masks and stuff like that. Like that is.
Yeah, your skin is beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is.
Like I do a face mask every single day.
Okay.
But yeah, so not every day, but like twice a week. But like I take care of my skin.
Well, that's excellent.
So yeah, that's pretty much.
That's excellent.
Skincare.
Now, she's not on camera, but you brought a young lady with you today. And before we end the show, I want to give her an opportunity to come on, and I want you to tell us who she is and why she's here with us. And she can come and stand right there.
Meet Brittany.
Yes.
Brittany, everyone, this is Brittany Caden, and she is the Passion and Priorities first intern. So yeah, Brittany, she also helps me manage and maintain the social media, the website. She drafts her own articles. Okay. So yeah, I will let her.
Hi, Brittany. Come on.
Hi. Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
And now tell us a little bit about yourself, because let me tell you, I care about the kids at the Nourish Spot. We actually hire high school students from the area, and we work with a number of organizations like Child Care Center of New York, Queens Connect, the Mayor CCAP program to bring in high school students. So internships really mean a lot to me. And, when I was growing up, there weren't a lot of that. The whole internship phenomenon hadn't started when I was growing up. But I did have people that cared about me and would give me opportunities. Like I'll never forget my mother's, she was my step-grandmother. She gave me opportunities all the time, okay? And so it's important to get these type of opportunities. So one, tell me, where are you in your educational track?
Okay, so right now I go to Queens College. I'm in my last year. I double major in political science with another major in sociology, and I'm minor in data analytics.
Go girl. Mm-hmm. Okay, so in your last year.
Yep.
All right, so other than this internship, are you working on any other internships?
Yes, I currently intern for Councilmember Donovan Richards. I'm a legislative aide at our council member inside the city, basically, in our little Manhattan branch, so yeah.
And I heard something about Donovan Richards. Is he running for office or something like that?
Well, I would like to stay focused on the passion and priorities.
That's a good answer. That's an excellent answer. And Brittany, thank you very much for coming with Tiffany to the Nourish Spot Hour. We really appreciate you coming here, and I hope that one day you'll have your own podcast, or one of us will have you on the podcast telling us about what you're doing in data analytics.
You already know.
All right, thank you. So listen, I'm really happy to be able to have Tiffany Eason here, CEO of Passion and Priorities. Tiffany is working on some wonderful projects. She has some big things coming up for us in 2020. I would like you one more time, Tiffany, to tell the listeners and the viewers how they can get in touch with you. So that if people want to donate clothing to your clothing drive, or women want to get involved with your Passion and Priorities events, or if people want to donate, because you can always use money, right? If
yes.
people want to donate to It's For You, how do people do that?
So I can be reached. You can send me a DM or contact me through our website, www.passionandpriorities.com. We are on all social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, at Passion and Priorities, the common spelling. Also, It's For You is on Instagram.
Okay.
And people can donate by contacting me directly on Instagram. It's its_for_you_INC.
And you is spelled out, Y-O-U?
Yes, Y-O-U.
Okay.
Also, we can be reached through email. You can email me at passionandpriorities@gmail.com, or it's for you incnyc@gmail.com.
You all get that? Let's do that one more time. It's for you.
It's for you incnyc@gmail.com.
Wonderful. Mm-hmm. Well, you're watching another edition of the Nourish Spot Hour, and we were so happy to have Tiffany Eason on the show with us today. She gave that. Oh, yes. And so, excuse me, guys. My engineer is keeping me on point, and I love him for it. Thank you very much, Nigel Baptiste with Caribbean Buzz Radio. Again, the Nourish Spot Hour is brought to you by the Nourish Spot. I'm Dawn Kelly, CEO. The Nourish Spot is a Black family-owned business. We were named Micro Business of the Year this year by the U.S. Small Business Administration, and we're open now till 7 p.m. at 10705 Guy R. Brewer Boulevard in Jamaica, Queens. We're open 10 to 7 on Saturdays, 12 to 6 on Sundays until it gets cold, and 8 to 7 Monday through Friday. We appreciate all of you subscribers and listeners and viewers for coming to see us every single week. And we look forward to talking to you again next week. If, in fact, you have any ideas for a show, or you have people that you would like us to recommend on the show, please reach out to me at prmaven17@gmail.com. That's prmaven17@gmail.com. And with that, I'm going to say, Tiffany, thank you very, very much for taking time out of your busy schedule today to share with us about passion and priorities. I look forward to partnering with you going forward in the remainder of 2019 and 2020. Listen, in addition to the Nourish Spot Hour and the things that she's doing with Passion and Priorities and the things that I'm doing with the Nourish Spot, we also are PR girls. So, you know, there's a lot more stuff that we could do.
Yes.
So let's shake on that. Yes. We'll be doing some big things in 2020. All right? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And thank you, everyone. See you again next week.